This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by A. R. Dobbs, San Francisco, California. Adam Bede by George Eliot. So that ye may have clear images before your gladdened eyes of nature's unambitious underwood and flowers that prosper in the shade. And when I speak of such among the flock as swerved or fell, those only shall be singled out upon whose lapse or error something more than brotherly forgiveness may attend. Wordsworth. Book 1, Chapter 1. The Workshop. With a single drop of ink for a mirror, the Egyptian sorcerer undertakes to reveal to any chance comer far-reaching visions of the past. This is what I undertake to do for you, reader. With this drop of ink at the end of my pen, I will show you the roomy workshop of Mr. Jonathan Burge, carpenter and builder in the village of Hayslope, as it appeared on the 18th of June, in the year of our Lord, 1799. The afternoon sun was warm on the 5 workmen there, busy upon doors and window frames and wainscoting. A scent of pine wood from a tent-like pile of planks outside the open door mingled itself with the scent of the elder bushes which were spreading their summer snow close to the open window opposite. The slanting sunbeams shone through the transparent shavings that flew before the steady plane and lit up the fine grain of the oak paneling which stood propped against the wall. On a heap of those soft shavings a rough grey shepherd dog had made himself a pleasant bed, and was lying with his nose between his 4 paws, occasionally wrinkling his brows to cast a glance at the tallest of the 5 workmen, who was carving a shield in the centre of a wooden mantelpiece. It was to this workman that the strong baritone belonged, which was heard above the sound of plane and hammer, singing, "Awake, my soul, and with the sun thy daily stage of duty run. Shake off dull sloth." Here some measurement was to be taken which required more concentrated attention, and the sonorous voice subsided into a low whistle, but it presently broke out again with renewed vigor. "Let all thy converse be sincere, thy conscience as the noonday clear." Such a voice could only come from a broad chest, and the broad chest belonged to a large-boned, muscular man nearly 6 feet high, with a back so flat and a head so well poised that when he drew himself up to take a more distant survey of his work, he had the air of a soldier standing at ease. The sleeve rolled up above the elbow showed an arm that was likely to win the prize for feats of strength. Yet the long, supple hand, with its broad fingertips, looked ready for works of skill. In his tall stalwartness, Adam Bede was a Saxon, and justified his name. But the jet-black hair, made the more noticeable by its contrast with the light paper cap, and the keen glance of the dark eyes that shone from under strongly marked, prominent and mobile eyebrows, indicated a mixture of Celtic blood. The face was large and roughly hewn, and when in repose had no other beauty than such as belongs to an expression of good-humored, honest intelligence. It is clear at a glance that the next workman is Adam's brother. He is nearly as tall. He has the same type of features, the same hue of hair and complexion, but the strength of the family likeness seems only to render more conspicuous the remarkable difference of expression both in form and face. Seth's broad shoulders have a slight stoop. His eyes are gray, his eyebrows have less prominence and more repose than his brother's, and his glance, instead of being keen, is confiding and benign. He has thrown off his paper cap, and you see that his hair is not thick and straight like Adam's, but thin and wavy, allowing you to discern the exact contour of a coronal arch that predominates very decidedly over the brow. The idle tramps always felt sure they could get a copper from Seth. They scarcely ever spoke to Adam. The concert of the tools and Adam's voice was at last broken by Seth, who, lifting the door at which he had been working intently, placed it against the wall and said, "There, I've finished my door today, anyhow." The workmen all looked up. Jim Salt, a burly, red-haired man known as Sandy Jim, paused from his planing, and Adam said to Seth, with a sharp glance of surprise, "What, dost think thee'st finished the door?" "Aye, sure," said Seth, with answering surprise. "What's a-wanting to't?" A loud roar of laughter from the other three workmen made Seth look round confusedly. Adam did not join in the laughter, but there was a slight smile on his face as he said in a gentler tone than before, "Why, thee'st forgot the panels." The laughter burst out afresh as Seth clapped his hands to his head and coloured over brow and crown. "Hooray!" shouted a small, lithe fellow called Wiry Ben, running forward and seizing the door. "We'll hang up the door at the fur end of the shop, and write on't, 'Seth Bede, the Methody, his work.' Here, Jim, lend's hold o' the red pot." "Nonsense," said Adam. "Let it alone, Ben Cranage. You'll mayhap be making such a slip yourself some day. You'll laugh o' the other side of your mouth then." "Catch me at it, Adam. It'll be a good while afore my head's full o' the Methodies," said Ben. "Nay, but it's often full o' drink, and that's worse." Ben, however, had now got the red pot in his hand, and was about to begin writing his inscription, making, by way of preliminary, an imaginary S in the air. "Let it alone, will you?" Adam called out, laying down his tools, striding up to Ben, and seizing his right shoulder. "Let it alone, or I'll shake the soul out wi' your body." Ben shook in Adam's iron grasp, but, like a plucky small man as he was, he didn't mean to give in. With his left hand he snatched the brush from his powerless right, and made a movement as if he would perform the feat of writing with his left. In a moment Adam turned him round, seized his other shoulder, and pushing him along, pinned him against the wall. But now Seth spoke up. "Let be, Addy, let be. Ben will be joking. Why, he's i' the right to laugh at me. I canna help laughing at myself." "I shan't loose him till he promises to let the door alone," said Adam. "Come, Ben, lad," said Seth in a persuasive tone. "Don't let's have a quarrel about it. You know Adam will have his way. You may as well try to turn a wagon in a narrow lane. Say you'll leave the door alone, and make an end on't." "I binna frighted at Adam," said Ben, "but I donna mind saying as I'll let alone at your asking, Seth." "Come, that's wise of you, Ben," said Adam, laughing and relaxing his grasp. They all returned to their work now, but Wiry Ben, having had the worst in the bodily contest, was bent on retrieving that humiliation by a success in sarcasm. "Which was you thinking on, Seth?" he began. "The pretty parson's face, or her sarmint, when you forgot the panels?" "Come and hear her, Ben," said Seth good-humouredly. "She's going to preach on the Green to-night. Happen you'd get something to think on yourself then, instead o' those wicked songs you're so fond on. You might get religion, and that'd be the best day's earnings you ever made." "All a good time for that, Seth. I'll think about that when I'm a-going to settle i' life. Bachelors doesn't want such heavy earnin's. Happen I'll do the courting and the religion both together, as ye do, Seth. But ye wouldna ha' me get converted and chop in atween ye and that pretty preacher, and carry her aff?" "No fear o' that, Ben. She's neither for you nor for me to win, I doubt. Only you come and hear her, and you won't speak lightly on her again." "Well, I'm half a mind to ha' a look at her to-night, if there isn't good company at the Holly Bush. What'll she take for her text? Happen ye can tell me, Seth, if so be I shouldna come up i' time for't. Will't be—what come ye out for to see? A prophetess? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophetess, a uncommon pretty young woman." "Come, Ben," said Adam rather sternly, "you let the words of the Bible alone. You're going too far now." "What are ye a turning round, Adam? I thought ye were dead again the woman preaching a while agoo." "Nay, I'm not turning no way. I said nought about the women preaching. I said you let the Bible alone. You've got a jest book, hain't you, as you're rare and proud on? Keep your dirty fingers to that." "Why, you're getting as big a saint as Seth. You're going to the preaching to-night, I should think.